Welcome back, Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for joining me to a new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a marathon lined up by Sidecar Dog. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. I do appreciate it, Sidecar. So we got basically two artists in question here today. This is called Two Poets. Oh, give me 1 second. I do want to pull it up. Two American poets, and we're gonna do basically one song from one artist, and then one song from the other, and then again the first one, and like that. So we're gonna do one and one. So we're gonna start it off. We're talking about John Hiatt and James McMurtry. So we're gonna do Slow Turning by John Hiatt. Then we're gonna do Levelland by James McMurtry. Buffalo River by John Hiatt. We Can Make It Here by James McMurtry, and then Through Your Hands by John Hiatt. So one and one. So I'm not familiar with these two, but I love, poets. When poets, when we talk about poets, it's like, who comes to mind? Like Joni Mitchell, of course. There's a bunch of like artists that I consider poets, Jim Morrison, what I mean. So I'm very excited about this. I want to pay more attention to the lyrics when it's a marathon like this. It's automatically kind of like, okay, let's focus on the lyrics. So that's what I'm gonna do. So those are the songs, but also, of course, if you're new to the channel, I just wanted to welcome you. If you like the video, you can subscribe to the video, follow us. You can check us out on Patreon. We do have over 30 albums now, 30 full albums that we reacted to from all sorts of music. It's just a place where, our reactions can't get blocked or taken down. So I think it's a good spot. All right, so without further ado, let's focus on the music, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, here we are. We're back, and let's go. Now, I did want to point out the years. So Slow Turning is from Slow Turning. This is 1988. Levelland is from Where You Hide the Body, from 95. Okay. Then Buffalo River Home is from Perfectly Good Guitar, 93. Awesome. Then Childish Things is from 2005. Right. And Stolen Moments is from 1990. All right. So I'm ready to go. Enjoy, and without further ado, let's go.
A boy, I thought it just came to you, but I never could tell what's mine, so it didn't matter anyway. My only pride and joy was this racket down here, banging on an old guitar, singing what I had to say. I always thought nobody said boo to me. I never did get what I wanted, but now I get what I need. It's been a slow turning from the inside out. A slow turning, baby. What you come about. A slow learning. What you learn to sweat. A slow turning, baby. Not fade away, not fade away, not fade away.
I love the lyrics. Super, innocent, entertaining. It's a tale of, of growing up. I love that. It's like, it's just feel good music. I love that banjo in the back that kicks in. It's just good song. It's just good music, what can I say? Great pick. I love it. I did not know of John Hiatt, so I'm always happy to discover new music. And when it's rich like this, and I really enjoy the lyrics, so cool. Let's keep going.
Radio down. I'm yelling at the kids in the back, 'cause they're banging like a Charlie Watts. You think you come so far in this one-horse town.
One
And
horse.
she's laughing that crazy laugh, 'cause you haven't left the parking lot. Time is short and here's the damn thing about it. You're gonna die for sure. And you can learn to live with love or without it, but there ain't no cure. There's just a slow turning from the inside out. A slow turning, what you come about, yeah. A slow turning, baby, but you learn to sweat. Hey, hey, hey. A slow turning, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away, not fade away. Slow turning, a slow turning, a slow turning, just a slow turning.
Great. I love it. It's just a great tale, this is like the music that I talk about that's so easy to digest. And this is sometimes music for a certain type of people that don't want too much stuff going on in their music. It's more about the lyrics. It's more about what's being said in that 3-4 minutes of music. And I totally understand people that listen to that kind of music because it's more entertaining. It's like a little tale, like a little show or whatever, and there's this other music that has all this stuff and all this information that's musical passages and arpeggios and very crazy chordings and that's cool too, and I grew up with that kind of stuff, classical music and just instrumental stuff. But I can appreciate something like this that's more simple, and it's more like you just sit down and enjoy the lyrics, and that's it. Like he said, that's my favorite thing to do, to grab that old guitar and bang out the notes and sing what I have on my mind, pretty much. And I mean, that's a great way to approach music. You can also be a classical guitar player and play amazing complex stuff, but with 2-3 chords you can write something like this. Beautiful. So okay, so now we're gonna switch to James McMurtry, and then we're gonna switch again to John Hiatt and so forth. So this is Levelland. Here we go. Let's see what kind of this. The first one seemed a little bit more country, to me, not country music, but more, Western, the feel, because of the banjo. Automatically you get a little bit of a feel, a Western feel, a Southern feel, very, very cool. I like that Southern hospitality feel that you get when you go into Southern states. We did live in Florida, so we were part of that community. That is, like you go into a diner and they're like, hey, they're just very, very friendly. I like that. So okay, so here we go with Levelland. Boom.
Flatter than a tabletop, makes you wonder why they stopped here. Wagon must have lost a wheel, or they lacked ambition. One in the great migration west, separated from the rest. Though they might have tried their best, they never caught the sun. So they sunk some roots down in this dirt to keep from blowing off the earth. They built a town right here, and when the dust had all but cleared, they called it Levelland. Pride and man, Levelland. Granddad grew dry land wheat, stood on his own 2 feet. His mind got incomplete, and they put him in the home. Daddy's cotton grows so high, sucks the water table dry. His rolling sprinklers circle by, bleeding it to the bone. And I won't be here when there comes a day it all dries up and blows away. I'd hang around just to see, but they never had much use for me. Levelland, they don't understand me out in Levelland. And I watch those jet trails coming up that big blue sky. Coast to coasters, watch 'em go. Now don't blame 'em one damn bit if they never look down on this. Not much down here they'd wanna know. Just Levelland, far as you can point your hand. Nothing but Levelland. Mama used to roll her hair back before the central air. We'd sit outside and watch the stars at night. She'd tell me to make a wish, I'd wish we both could fly. Don't think she's seen the sky since we got the satellite dish. And I can hear the marching band doing the best they can to play Smoke on the Water, Joy to the World. I paid up all my debts, got some change left over yet, and I'm getting on a whisper jet. Gonna fly as far as I can get. Levelland, done the best
good. Oh wow, that was part of the recording. That really cool lyrics, and it's something that goes through my mind as well sometimes, you know. Now this one, honestly, I'm not reading the lyrics because I do want to keep. I don't want to just focus on the lyrics, but there were a couple of passages that I just couldn't understand because I guess James does, you know, slur his words a little bit. Not slur, but you know, he kind of like disguises them a little bit, you know, like Bob Dylan does a little bit, you know. Something is not that, you know, easily understandable, but I still got the whole message of the song, you know, how people, you know, and like he said, you know, the great migration of the United States, and it is sometimes, you know, questionable, you know, how people decided to stay in a specific area and why do they live there. And like, I can understand, like, for example, here in Colorado, I mean, yes, we have the winter and, but we have amazing summers and springs, and, you know, fall is like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And the winter is long, but it's not that brutal. But if you go to other places, it's just like ridiculous. It's and it's like hell to live there. But people decide to live there anyways, you know. Like, I don't know, Minnesota, or I've heard some stories where it's just ridiculous, you know. But people love it there, you know, and you fall in love with your land, you know. So it's like, yeah, everybody wants to move to, I don't know, to you know, like California, Oregon. I don't, you know, like I've lived in a climate literally like California literally half of my life, which was Mexico. It's a little bit hotter, so we don't get those really nice, you know, warm breezy afternoons. It was just hot, you know. But I mean, I know what it's like to live in the tropics and be on the beach and be always warm, you know. But I like this way more. I like the winter, and I grew up in Germany, and I had my 4 seasons, and it's just I don't know, it just gives the year more meaning. But yeah, sometimes it is questionable when they did inhabit the US, and when it was still like, I guess, the Wild West. Why would people like say, okay, let's stay here, you know? But it is what it is, you know. They made it through 1 winter, and then 2 winters, and then it's 20 winters, and you know, they love it, and they know where to go and where to hunt and where's water and all that good stuff, you know. So it's just, it is what it is. But it's a beautiful thing, you know, how people have just a culture, and how every state also in this country, you know, has their different culture and their food and the different accents and dialects. And it's just a beautiful thing, you know, like in every other country, but here as well. And even in Mexico, there's some dialects that I don't understand, you know. But it's really cool. So I really like the song. It's a song about, you know, like he said, you know, it's flatter than, I don't know what term he used, but, you know, that's what I love about here, that it's not flat. There's all these, you know, you drive an hour and you're at 12,000 feet, which is insane. And then, but yeah, I do miss sea level sometimes, you know. All right, let's move on here with Buffalo River Home. So I think there's a theme, of course. It is a more Western tone, this whole these 2 songs so far. They had more like a Western, from an older generation, you know, tone. So let's go with Buffalo River Home.
Taking off and landing, but this airport's closed. been circling the wagons down at Times Square, trying to fill up this hole in my soul, but nothing fits that. Just when you think you can let it rip, you're pounding the pavement in your daddy's wingtips, as if you had someplace else to go, or a better way to get there. Tearing through the cotton fields and bus shelters of the South, running helter-skelter down through the Mississippi Delta, with no place to call your own. Mixing up drinks with mixed feelings, all along the pain was peeling, down to an Indian blanket on a pony, with no rider in the flesh and bone, looking for his Buffalo River home. Now there's only two things in life, but I forget what they are. It seems they're either hanging on a moonbeam's coat.
This is like the definition of Americana. This is like that, and you know, I mean, John Hiatt now in the second song, and also James McMurtry. It's the definition of Americana music. It's just that, you know, it's just, and the way he's singing, and it's just, I love that it has that country feel, you know. It's very heartfelt tales, and it's very different from what I was talking about, as in poetry and rock, you know. There is rock poetry, you know, like I guess Bob Dylan is one, you know, like I mentioned Joni Mitchell, but it's a different style. It's a totally different angle of it's more like city life, you know, like against, oh, well, I mean, I can't really say, but because they have so rich, their catalogs are so full of music. You can't really say that, but there's a lot of songs that I listen to from like these two that I just mentioned, which is like ridiculous because there's hundreds of, you know, poets and music. But this is, I love that this is more about the land, and, you know, and I think I just lost a light. But yeah, highly enjoyable. I think I just lost a light. All right, let's continue.
Tales of wishing on stars. Just when you think that you've been chipped, the bearded lady comes and does a double backflip. You run up and join the circus. Yeah, you just let that pony ride, tearing through the cotton fields and bus shelters of the South, running helter-skelter down through the Mississippi Delta, with no place to call your own. Mixing up drinks with mixed feelings, all along the paint was peeling, down to an Indian blanket on a pony, with no rider in the flesh and bone, looking for his Buffalo River home. Buffalo River home.
Very cool. really like it, really enjoy it. And I think also this music can only be written by people who really have lived in those places, you know, who grew up in that kind of environment, you know. And like, for example, I could never write something like this because I don't have the experience to be out in the on the land, you know, on a farm or stuff like that with horses. And I mean, I know how to ride a horse, you know, because I once went to a summer camp, you know, and I got super good. And also in Mexico, you know, there were some touristy, you know, places where you could, you know, be on a horse. But you know, I'm like I'm like the city kid, you know. I used to drive the metro when I was 6 years old, like to school by myself sometimes even. So it's just totally different. And then to my surprise, when I moved to Mexico, I was suddenly in the middle of nowhere on the beach, and there were like 3 stores, you know, like. So I do have like a little bit of experience from going like from the city life in Munich into like this beach town in Mexico. I don't speak the language, and everything is 30 years in the past pretty much, you know. Or time just stopped, you know. So, so which now has kind of like changed. When we went back to Puerto Vallarta, it was like, oh my god, what happened here, you know. Like it kind of like got with the times. But when we moved there, it was pretty much like living in the 60s, you know. Or and that's also a reason that there's so much music that we never heard. There were no radio stations. But it was really cool to grow up. Like for Alexia, it was really cool and different and hard, and for me as well. And I didn't really like it. I mean, I actually, when we moved to Mexico 6 months later, I returned to Germany. I was like, I don't like it here. But because I was just not so, I was too small to have so much change in my life, and I wanted to go back to school in Germany, and I wanted to live, you know, where I knew what was what. And unfortunately, I did go back, but unfortunately, my grandmother died when I was over there. She was the one taking care of me, and then my parents said, "Sorry, but you're not 18 yet. You have to come back." And then I kind of like fell in love with the whole Mexico, you know, thing. But yeah, that's another story. But so far, so good. Beautiful marathon so far. Great guitar playing as a guitar player, I must say. Beautiful solos, just heartfelt lyrics, very great. Beautiful music. Now this next one is a longer one. I think this is the longest one on the list. This is called "We Can't Make It Here" by James McMurtry, and then we're gonna play another John Hiatt song. But let's check that one out. Let's check out why it is so long. Maybe a great 3-minute guitar solo or something. But let's see.
There's a Vietnam vet with a cardboard sign sitting there by the left turn line. A flag on his wheelchair flapping in the breeze. One leg missing and both hands free. No one's paying much mind to him. The VA budget's just stretched so thin, and there's more coming back from the Mideast war. We can't make it here anymore. And that big old building was a textile mill. It fed our kids and it paid our bills, but they turned us out and they closed the doors. We can't make it here anymore.
That was just a beautiful description of the Vietnam vet. I literally could see obviously all of us have seen Born on the 4th of July. Like Tom Cruise, like he nailed that part. So I could see him, but the way he described him, you know, was just perfect. Very great, like beautiful writing. Let's see where this goes.
You see those pallets piled up on the loading dock? They're just gonna sit there till they rot, 'cause there's nothing to ship, nothing to pack, just busted concrete and rusted tracks. The empty storefronts around the square, there's a needle in the gutter and glass everywhere. You don't come down here unless you're looking to score. We can't make it here anymore. Still open, but man, it's slow. The tip jar's light and the register's low. The bartender don't have much to say. The regular crowd gets thinner each day. Some are maxed out all their credit cards. Some are working 2 jobs and living in cars. Minimum wage won't pay for a roof, won't pay for a drink. If you gotta have proof, just try it yourself, Mr. CEO. See how far 5.15 an hour will go. Take a part-time job at one of your stores. I bet you can't make it here anymore. In the magazine she found on the floor of the laundromat. A woman with kids can forget all that. If she comes up pregnant, what'll she do? Forget the career, forget about school. Can she live on faith, live on hope? High on Jesus or hooked on dope? When it's way too late to just say no, you can't make it here anymore. Like the ones we made before, except this one came from Singapore. I guess we can't make it here anymore.
Wow. So it's insane, you know. These lyrics are very harsh but very true. It's literally, and this is from 2005, so it's been like this, you know. And a lot of people know that this is just the world we live in, not just in the States, I guess everywhere, you know. The poor get poorer, the richer get richer, and it's pretty much the way it is, unfortunately. But for some people it is even harder, you know. Like we have to be thankful every day to have a roof over our head and food on the table, you know, because some people don't have that luxury. And even living in this country, you know, one of the, you know, I guess richest countries in the world, you know, but even here we have these problems and we face a lot of challenges, you know. Like if you get sick, God help you, you know. And I mean, this is what I think in this country. It's like if you have any kind of sickness in this country, it's, I think, the hardest one, because I have lived in Germany and I have lived in Mexico. In Mexico, healthcare is free, or at least for the poor, you know, and it's good medicine. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of people I knew in Mexico that would go to Mexico to get medical attention, dentists to get their teeth, you know, repaired, because it's so much cheaper, the same quality, almost the same you know, this, they have the same, I mean, the schools are the same, you know, and then the stuff they use, the medicine they use, the tools they use, it's all the same, but it's just so much cheaper. It's so hard. But yeah, it's just like the way he was describing, oh my God, you know, the needle on the floor, and oh my God, it's so true, because I've seen it even here in Denver. You know, when you go downtown, there's so many people that are homeless, and I don't know if it's by decision or if it's because that's the way it happened. I don't know if they went down the wrong path, but then to get out of this is the hardest part, because I even have seen some videos on YouTube of people that are homeless, and they're not homeless because they want to work and they want to live in an apartment or a house, but they can't because they don't even get 2 weeks. They can't apply to a job because they don't have an address. It's so impossible sometimes for people. It's so sad. And this guy, the lyrics are so true. Everything that he's saying about getting pregnant in this country, you know, it's sometimes something that you not really decide to do, but it happens. Or, you know, you lose a loved one, you go into depression, you start taking the wrong things, you know, and then suddenly you're in the hole and you can't get out. It's very hard. It's just, I pray for everyone that's going through stuff like that too, you know, like I wish things were different, not just in this country, in the entire world. It's everywhere, you know. It's just very hard. And even the stuff that he was describing, you know, unfortunately big corporations, you know, are taking over, like Walmart. I try not go there. I try to always support local businesses, you know, but it's also, sometimes it's more convenient. I know it sucks. And but yeah, all these corporations are, you know, outsourcing, you know, it's not American labor, or it's not even American. Walmart is, I think, from, I don't know, but it's not from the US. And it's just like, you know, taking over family businesses, small businesses. It's just very sad. But well, let's keep going with the music. It's just something, you know, that I wanted to talk about. I go on my little rants, you know, I know, you know, you guys feel the same way. It's just tough, you know, for a lot of people. So let's keep going.
Make it here anymore. Should I hate a people for the shade of their skin, or the shape of their eyes, or the shape I'm in? Should I hate them for having our jobs today? No, I hate the men sent the jobs away. I can see them all now, they haunt my dreams, all lily white and squeaky clean. They've never known want, they'll never know need. The shit don't stink and their kids won't bleed. Their kids won't bleed in the damn little war, and we can't make it here anymore. To pay less tax, the working poor get to fall through the cracks. So let them eat jelly beans, let them eat cake, let them eat shit, whatever it takes. They can join the Air Force or join the Corps if they can't make it here anymore. That's how it is, that's what we got. And if the president wants to admit it or not, you can read it in the paper, read it on the wall, hear it on the wind if you're listening listening at all, get out of that limo and look us in the eye. Call us on a cell phone, tell us all why. In Dayton, Ohio, or Portland, Maine, or a cotton gin out on the Great High Plains that's done closed down, along with the school and the hospital and the swimming pool. Dust devils dance in the noonday heat. There's rats in the alley and trash in the street. Gang graffiti on a boxcar door. We can't make it here anymore.
Yeah, that song was getting darker and darker, but very true. Everything true, and for some people more, for some people less, I guess. But man, it's just a difficult thing to talk about, especially. It's so true, you know. I think like outsourcing is such a bad idea. I know, and it's just a way, you know, to get the job done cheaper, but it's not the same. You know, when I call customer service, I used to work in customer service, but for an American company. And when I call sometimes in like these big tech companies, I don't even understand these people. And I know they're trying their best, but maybe, you know, I feel better when I call Guitar Center. I don't know. It's... You know, I don't want to get into it, but you know what I mean. I feel I have these feelings as well, you know, and it's just hard. It's hard. This song is very, very important. And I love that he even, you know, had the idea to call this album just Childish Things, because it's not childish at all. It's very important things to talk about, but yeah, it's just, it is what it is, you know. I could talk about this with you guys for 3 hours in a live, you know, about what I think, and then I'm gonna get all different kinds of, you know, opinions. Of course, everybody has their point of view because everybody lives a different life. But I guess most of you people that watch this channel have already basically crossed into either retirement or you're close to it, and there's a lot of stuff that you like look back and are like, what's going on right now? It's like, what the hell? And I look at that stuff too, you know. I know I always say that I never look, but I do, you know. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, and just not just like the state of affairs, but I think the whole world right now is a little bit chaotic and very divided, and it's just a sad thing to see. But in a way, it has always been like this, you know, in different facets, I guess. But yeah, it's a very interesting song, very thoughtful, very thought-provoking, very important to say. I think this is a good message to go over and think about, you know. All right, so we're going to finish it off Through Your Hands. John Hiatt, here we go, from Stolen Moments.
You were dreaming on a park bench by the broad highway somewhere, when music from the carillon seemed to hurl your heart out there, past the scientific darkness, past the fireflies that float, to an angel bending down to wrap you in her warmest coat. And you ask, what am I not doing? She says,
your voice cannot command. Inside you will move mountains.
it will come through your hand. Still you argue for an option. Still you angle for your case. Like you wouldn't know a burning bush if it blew up in your face. Yeah, we scheme about the future and we dream about the past. When just a simple reaching out might build a bridge that lasts. And you ask, what am I not doing? She says,
your voice cannot command. Inside you will move mountains.
and it will come through your hands. Through your hands. So whatever your hands find to do, you must do with all your heart. There are thoughts enough to blow men's minds and tear great worlds apart. There's a healing touch to find you on that broad highway somewhere.
To lift you high as music flies through the angel's hair.
Don't ask what you are not doing, because your voice cannot command. In time, we will move mountains, and it will come through your hands. Through your hands. Through your hands. Through your
Beautiful. I didn't even pause. Forgot. Sorry. Beautiful. I loved her voice as well. I don't know which I like more. Both of them are so unique, but also similar in style, music, but their delivery, of course, is different. But beautiful. I wish others would do marathons. These 5 songs are very, very good. Very, very thought-provoking. I wish I could see somebody else react to see what they have to say. But hey, the good thing is we have a comment section. Let me know what you think. Let's create a dialogue. Healthy, please. Healthy dialogue always. Let's just talk about things. But there's a lot of beauty in these songs as well. Especially the first, this last one. Oh my God. The first 3. I think number 4 was, more bitter like pill to swallow because it's so real. And but still, you know, it's art, and art is a great form to express yourself and to say what you really have on your mind. And I think it was a great song, but all of them had a great beautiful message of just the American way of life, you know, and being in this country, living in this country, working, and you know, doing the best you can, you know. And so yeah, let's talk about it. Thank you so much, SIDECAR, for this awesome introduction into this more Americana style of music. I really enjoyed it. Very, very, like I said, very thought-provoking. And for somebody who didn't grow up in this country, you know, as an immigrant, I think this is very, very important, you know, to listen to discover. And there's so much beauty, but also there's a lot of harder, you know, things to think about. Like when you do a marathon like this, after, you know, you're like, okay, you know. But yeah, it was a lot. It was very enjoyable. Thank you so much. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section with these 5 songs, and of course, recommend, you know, more. What would be a good thing for maybe Alexia to react to? I could maybe pull her aside and, you know, show her one of these. But thank you again. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to create a discussion, to react to these lyrics. Most and foremost, the lyrics, you know. Of course, there was beautiful guitar playing and beautiful drumming and all that. But yeah, these tracks are more about the lyrics than the music. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking the video. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next video.